Welcome to another Flick Filter Honest Review. Welcome, Flick Filter Nation. I'm your boy, Big Diesel.
And I'm Coach, not to be mistaken with the
New girl?
not that Coach, or even the brand Coach who make these handbags, which
I see what you did. I see what you did.
In,
he's not slick. You think he's slick? He's not slick. But
yeah, what we doing? What we doing today?
Satan wears Burberry.
But Lucifer wears Gucci.
But the devil wears Prada.
Nada.
Two.
Two.
Okay, so first off, we're gonna be honest. So this is Devil Wears Prada 2, and we know some people may not have seen the first one.
Yes.
So we're going to give a brief background about the first one, which we just saw before seeing this one.
Crazy, right?
Crazy.
Because we got to first recognize that this is a classic movie. The first one.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely not a normal movie that normal guys see, especially back then, maybe our age.
Normal guys.
We're not normal, but and it's not that these are not for guys. Let's be clear. It's just this is not for every guy. But some people like rom-coms and stuff like that. Some guys don't. So yeah, let's go into the first one just briefly, and then we'll get into the full review about Devil Wears Prada 2. That was a bar, right?
2. Yeah.
All right.
It was.
So, you go ahead.
Oh man, he's putting on me. All right, so
spot.
Yeah, man. So that first movie, wow, what just the first were iconic.
I was not expecting it to be that good. And first off, let me start off by saying, Anne Hathaway, she got a lot of flack. And I think what it was she got a lot of flack for Princess Diaries.
Oh, you talking about that?
Yeah, man. She just kind of she had that stigma. Same reason why Robert Pattinson got stuck with the stigma of Edward. Sometimes your first movie kind of puts that stigma on you, and that's all they see for a while. So you got to kind of do different things to kind of get people to forget about it.
Yeah, get you out of that thing. It's kind of like it's the Disney. I think it's like the Disney effect almost.
Yeah.
Where you have certain stars that came up, and they're on these Disney shows. They're in all the Disney movies. You're gonna make Disney music, and you're just seen as that, which is why a lot of times certain people will get into drugs, all these different things, because it's like, one, it's pressure, but two, sometimes they're just trying to break away from that image, and it just
especially they have that kind of childhood. You growing up as a kid, and whether it's Nickelodeon or Disney. A lot of stuff has happened.
Yes.
To a lot of those kids.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
But thankfully, with Anne Hathaway, we're gonna get to the review in a minute. But with Anne Hathaway, she never really had like a super big controversy like that. I just think she's had certain criticisms for maybe certain roles. Like I even thought about, because it's crazy, she eventually won an Oscar for Les Mis. But there were, I think, and I still haven't seen it, crazy. But I think there was like some backlash because after that movie, which I only recently found out about this, I think certain people thought she wasn't as deserving for that award. And so there was a couple years after that where some of the roles she were getting were kind of like either not as good or just she wasn't getting as many roles, and it's almost like the whole Oscar curse thing, where it's like everybody expects you to have all these things, the pick of the litter for certain roles, and then for certain movies, it's like, or for certain actors, it's like, hey, where's so and so? They just won an Oscar. We barely seen them.
You always
afterwards.
bringing up the Oscars.
It's not even I wasn't even the one who thought of this with Anne Hathaway. Somebody else brought this up, and I was like, oh, I never realized that, because it's, to me, it always seemed like she was working consistently and always getting good roles, but it just goes to show, like, things aren't always as smooth as we may appear, or as what it may appear to be.
Yeah.
So
anyway. I would also say, like, I remember when she was cast as Catwoman in The Dark Knight Rises. I was like, Anne Hathaway?
Yeah.
But then I remember her killing it as even though it wasn't your conventional Catwoman, she still did great in that movie.
Yeah.
And then now she kind of, if you think of anything, most of her stuff she's really good at.
Yeah.
So, anyways, we just want to, you know,
give her the flowers.
Give her the flowers she deserves. But also, so yeah. Anyways, back to the first one.
Back to the first one. Yeah. So
it's got Meryl Streep, Anne Hathaway, Emily Blunt before she even became who she is now, and Stanley Tucci, who's a goat. Oh man, I love his character in both of these movies. But basically, she's basically a journalist who gets this job as a secretary.
So essentially, she is an assistant. She's an Emily, which we're gonna get to. So, what she works, she gets this job working for Miranda Priestley, who's basically Meryl Streep, editor-in-chief of Runway, which is the magazine. It's supposed to be like a play on Vogue. Yeah. She's kind of like their Anna Wintour, in a way. Okay. Yeah. Well,
I know exactly who.
Exactly, you know who that is. So if you know fashion, you know Anna Wintour. That's who this character was modeled after. She's kind of notorious for being like this very tough boss. Both Anna Wintour and Miranda, but Miranda is like, she's known for fashion, very influential, but she's very tough. And Andy, who is Anne Hathaway's character, she's just using this job as like a stepping stone into her career, where she wants to work in real journalism. Meanwhile, she has a boyfriend played by Adrian Grenier.
I understood the boyfriend. Again, I was watching it later than everybody else, probably who saw it, but I saw his point. Like, I didn't think he was that bad of a character.
Yeah.
So, I was actually on his side more than I was on Andy's side. So, interesting. I definitely see the differences.
Yeah, for sure. It's I don't know if I should have mentioned him this early, but
probably.
I also do see his point of view in a lot of the issues, like, because Andy, she does go through a transformation in the sense of like good in a lot of ways and not so good, because it does change her in a way. Like, a big thing with Andy is the fact that she doesn't care about the fashion industry. So when she goes to work, her coworkers, particularly,
very snobby.
They're snobby.
Yeah.
Miranda, especially Miranda and Emily, they're always getting on her as far as how she dresses.
Yep.
And as well as Nigel.
I was about to say, Stanley Tucci.
He's not as cruel. You could tell he he's kind of like almost like a mentor in a way where he wants her to succeed, but he's still gonna be honest with her. Um, but yeah, Andy doesn't care about fashion, and there's this very critical scene in the movie where she has on this blue sweater, and you know, I think Miranda's insulted it, and all these things. People have insulted it, but she like Andy doesn't really pay any mind to it. But then it's like, oh, it's just this, and then she does this whole breakdown of as far as like, oh, what you're wearing. The reason you're wearing that is because of these people in fashion who decided this, and then these other people were influenced by this, and so you got this off the shelf all because of all these certain decisions that were made that you don't pay any mind to it, but just because you don't think something is important doesn't mean that it isn't. Like the fact that you're influenced by things that you don't even realize you're influenced by. So I thought that was really pivotal and kind of like a very important thing. But I just feel like the movie overall just very well written, very dynamic characters that are flawed, but also people that you root for, and even someone like Miranda, who quote unquote is cruel, she still is human, and you also can see her point of view in certain things, even if the way she communicates things may not be the nicest. And even jumping into the second movie, which we're about to get into, it does address a lot of the things that she used to do in this first movie, where it's like, no, you can no longer do that. So I do like how the movies are kind of like,
it definitely modernized everything as well, and it kind of gets me to thinking about how you kind of you don't have to be a part of fashion to kind of understand this second one.
Yeah.
Because this is it. I feel like if you're ever you went to school, you aspired to be this certain thing, you went to school, you got the degree.
Yep.
And then you realize maybe you worked for it for a while, but then you realize that okay, now you're getting a whole bunch of layoffs and you're not going up in the way that you think. You can't really get a job like you used to. AI's taking your jobs.
AI, yeah.
Stuff like that. Like a lot of higher ups are kind of trying to cut costs, and that means they're cutting down other people.
For sure.
I think anybody can understand without actually being a part of journalism or a part of fashion at all.
For sure.
But I definitely enjoyed the first one. I didn't think I was gonna like it as much as I did. So it was very interesting. So going into this, the second one is more about kind of bringing everybody back. And a lot of times we feel like certain movies don't need a number two. And I definitely do agree that this did not need a second one. But the second one I feel like was pretty good.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad. But again, the question is, did it need it? No, but the way they did it was kind of interesting. Several cameos in this.
Several.
But basically, what this was basically, Andy gets her whole team gets laid off, as journalists.
In the middle of getting an award too.
Yeah. And we don't want to explain the whole movie to you.
Yeah.
But basically, she goes back to, rather conveniently, goes back to working at Runway And of course things have changed, but Nigel's still there and Miranda's still there. But Emily has kind of done her own, running her own thing.
Yeah, she's doing her own thing.
Doing her own thing. And a lot of people are in different points in their life. So yeah, I'm not going to explain the whole movie, but just go out and watch it. But I'll say that I would like to kind of compare what we liked about the first one to what we liked about the second one and vice versa.
Okay.
So so yeah, what do you like about the first one? And what did you like about the second one?
Yeah, so for me, I mean, I kind of went over a little bit what I liked about the first one. I definitely loved how the first one was written. Mm-hmm. Like, it wasn't this conventional, like, comedy. Like, it has comedic moments, but it wasn't like it was a comedy, but it still dealt with, like, real world things, and it felt like these were, like, real people that you would find. Like, it was very dynamic. It was well written. The dialogue, it has like memorable lines, but it's not corny at the same time. And even I like the fact that even if you're not interested in fashion, it makes a compelling point in terms of like the way you're just the way certain things, the way fashion plays into your life or everybody's life, even if that's not a thing that you're really into. And I think also just being a young person, like I feel like being a young person working, I feel like anybody can relate to that. Getting a job that's like not your dream job, but you viewing that as like a stepping stone into something else. I feel like everybody has kind of been in that situation at some point.
Yeah, everybody can relate. Yeah.
And I like the fact that it did Andy, without giving much away, she still ends up where she needed to be in the end, and she recognizes who she is at the same time. Like, okay, she she made tough decisions, and you see over time she does care about the job and the work that she's doing, and I definitely feel
she cares more a lot about people as well.
She does.
You can see that in the first one and the second one, and sometimes it's a little too much, and it's detrimental to certain things.
Yeah, that is true. It's kind of like sometimes she feels like she has to overexert and overdo. Like, like she may be tasked to do this specific thing, but it's like, no, I want to go in above and beyond, and not above and beyond in terms of like meddling into stuff she shouldn't. That can kind of get her into trouble. That happens in both movies, where it's like, to compare and contrast, she does grow from the first movie to the second. Like, she's a lot more confident. You can tell that she's well adjusted in her career as a journalist. She's had a level of success, but it's funny that when she goes back into Runway, it's kind of like putting on old shoes. Where it's
she's trying to. It was kind of cringeworthy because she was trying to like kind of catch up, kind of like when you hang out with somebody from the old past or whatever the case may be, and it's kind of like, I don't know, it kind of bogged me down a little bit because it's like, all right, we get it, these people, she's rather likable, but it kind of slowed the story down. Where we get it, we know, and I think this is because maybe we've seen it a little sooner than everybody else. This was like 20 years ago.
Right.
So maybe
they've had 20 years of being able to sit and process and do all these things with these characters. They've had like a 20-year relationship with these characters, whereas I'm familiar with the gist of the story,
Yeah.
but seeing it in its totality, now I'm like, oh, okay, I understand this a lot better.
So yeah, so I would say that, but sometimes she did care a little bit much, where Miranda was like, stay out of this, do nothing, and then she just doesn't do it. And it was sometimes maybe Emily would tell her to do something, which would get her in trouble, or no, or maybe it was the twins. The twins did something to where it was like it like messed them up, messed her up. But
it's funny that even when you mentioned Emily, how Miranda will do certain things to kind of pit Andy and Emily against each other, like will find ways to I want you to tell Emily blah blah blah, and that's gonna screw her over. I'm gonna tell you you're going.
Yeah, basically,
this was her dream, and it's like it's like
she
knew what she was doing and manipulating things, and then you're like, oh, you were the one who did it. But I'm like, I mean, what was she supposed to do? You're her boss, and it's like, oh, you made that decision. It's like that's where I'm like,
oh, I know what you're talking about. Okay. Yeah.
So when I guess,
but you can see her point of view on the way she's seen it, and I think she was just angry. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you're just angry.
Yeah.
You know it's not their fault, but you just kind of want to blame somebody.
Oh, you're talking about from Emily's point of view, yeah.
Yeah, no, from Emily's point of view.
That's what I said.
I thought you said Amy.
I thought I said Emily. My bad.
Okay. You post the comments with it. No, I'm sure. But just sometimes I think at the end of the day she didn't want to blame herself.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't want to feel like, oh man, I've fallen for something like that. Or it was basically, man, I'm starting to like, because even in the second one, it's like she didn't want to admit that she actually liked Andy.
Yeah.
There were certain things where it was like, oh okay. Sure. But she wanted to stay her natural self, like who she was, even though Andy just kind of grows on her.
That's true.
So
because Andy is that optimist person. Like even when it's funny, because even if she doesn't care about something, at the end of the day, she still does.
Yeah.
She still is gonna give her best. She's still gonna
And it's like all of them just put on the act, to kind of appease other people and to just get to the top. But then at the end of the day, they really care about other people, even if they don't want to admit it. There are certain things that Miranda does to help her out, help, Andy out. And then there's certain things that Emily does to help Andy out. So it's like, y'all might act like y'all don't like her, but at the end of the day, there's still some camaraderie there.
There is. But I will also say this, from both the first movie and the second movie, Miranda is still you see why she's the boss. She's still top dog in the sense you would think because I'm like, man, it's been 20 plus years, so and she was top dog 20 years ago, and it's 20 years later, and she's still at the very top. So it's like you've got to be good, and you have to be shrewd, and you have to make some harsh decisions in order to maintain that level of power for that long. And I'm glad it shows you how strategic she is, but also how there are just certain times where I think the movie is certain things just kind of fall into her favor and she does have a lot of loyal people working for her. Going back to Nigel, I don't think she would be nearly as successful without Nigel. How not to spoil anything, but he be getting screwed over too, and he kind of just takes it, and it's like if you don't have somebody like that, I don't think you could stay as prominent as she has been.
Well, here's another thing that I want to mention too. There is something that happens where you're just like, okay, they definitely is like, oh yeah, she wants this, or they're looking for this to kind of get her, next person up. Mm-hmm. And then you're like, okay, but how is that going to happen? Because if it does, like, you just feel like in your bones that something bad's going to happen.
Right.
And then something happens.
But it's not the thing you think.
Yep. And it's like, it still hits you. And it's really good because it's like, dang, I didn't think it. Like, you were like, oh my God. Man, like, yeah. It was like, dude, I didn't realize that was going to happen.
Right. It was not at all. It's funny how, like, looking back at the movie, it's like, well, how did I not see that coming? But, because I feel like other movies have done something similarly, but you wouldn't think about it for this movie.
Yeah, because everything just kind of goes into their own way. And it was kind of sudden.
It was very sudden.
The way it happened, it was like sudden. Like there was no clear way that that was gonna happen.
Yep.
So when it happens, you're like, okay, but this is not real. And then and then you realize
it was. And the way it cuts to the next thing, I like how we're being vague about this.
I love it.
But it cuts to the next scene, and it almost in a like comedic sort of way.
Yeah.
And I was like,
it was very comedic because Emily was like, oh, why are we wearing this? Is just terrible. Why are we
wearing the fall collection?
Yeah. There's little bits of humor where it's like, oh my God. Yes. Like Emily Blunt is so.
She's great.
Wait. Her name's Emily in the.
Yes, her name. You just caught that. Her name is Emily in the thing, and it's funny because. Oh, that was so funny how. What's her? Miranda would still refer to them, like in the second one, as the Emilys.
Yeah.
And it's like how she would act like she didn't remember who Andy was. Yeah. She legit was like, who is this? Like,
or she basically said Andrea.
Oh yeah, she called her Andrea too. So I'm like, that's how she gave it away that she remembered. Because like you wouldn't be calling, because she called her that in the first movie. So now you're gonna call her.
And nobody really calls her that at all. Everybody calls her as Andy.
Andy, except for Miranda.
And let's just talk about Nigel for one more moment. It's just. He's so likable when he doesn't have to be. Like, he really sticks up for Andy when he doesn't have to. Mm-hmm. He just kind of helps her out, gives her certain things to wear and this and that, just to kind of make her, look better and to kind of impress Miranda.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a real one. He was probably my favorite character. Yeah.
So I know we've been kind of going back and forth between first one, second one, but yeah, this I know we did kind of go talk about a lot of the highs. What was there anything else positives that you wanted to mention before we go into like critiques real quick?
Eggs. Okay. Nah.
Okay.
I think we named them all.
Yeah. Yeah. I did like I would just say real quick, I did like the cameos. Can't remember. Did I even say? You see?
You were going there.
See, now I'm not even gonna say it. Fine. I'm gonna just say I like the cameos. Psych. I'm gonna say it. Nah. See. Anyways. It was this whole thing as far as now
He wants to say it so bad.
No, because
say it.
Okay, I'm gonna ask y'all to post in the.
Too much.
I know, build it.
Yeah.
I need y'all to post in the comments. So, there's some promo for the movie, and whether you've seen it or not, there's a very well-known basketball player who makes an appearance. Karl Anthony Towns. As if you watch basketball, he currently plays for the New York Knicks. By the time this even comes out, I don't even know what stage of the playoffs we'll be in. We could be.
Yeah, you might jinx it.
That's true. That actually would be a good thing coming out of a Knicks fan. I don't hate them. But anyways,
this is not basketball.
This is not a basketball podcast. The whole point is somebody, and I wasn't the one who pointed that. Somebody pointed out that since this movie came out, that the Knicks haven't lost a game, even though it's not even a superstitious thing. So I'm a Hawks fan. The Hawks were up 2-1, and then after the movie came out, literally had not lost a single game in that series and the next series. They ended up sweeping the 76ers. So I just thought it was a funny thing that he was in this movie, and then what?
You live without him. That's the real reason.
Yeah, you're right. That's the reason.
That's
that's
the real
reason.
No, I'm just joking.
That's the reason. Stamp. Why are only black people in the Illuminati?
You always.
Allegedly, I'm not saying literally,
I'm
but
not gonna entertain
only it's only black people that are accused of being in the Illuminati.
Why's everything gotta be race?
Everything is race.
Anywho, where were you going with that?
Nowhere. Absolutely nowhere.
My point.
No, it was going. There were some cool cameos. I don't want to say them all.
Yeah, don't want to say them all. There's a really important one that's kind of. You thought it would go a certain way, and it ended up not going that certain way.
Yeah.
So there's several good ones. One of them stole the show.
Yep.
And yeah, there's some good ones.
She's creative director of Polaroid.
I didn't realize, because I didn't remember a lot of the stuff that had to deal with Miranda's personal life, or any of their personal lives except for Andy, of course.
Right.
So I didn't realize that, because in the first one you see the twins. Mm-hmm. But I don't remember if you see their father or anything like that.
The husband.
The husband or whatever. So I couldn't remember if Kenneth Branagh was in the first one or not. I kind of assumed he was, but maybe he wasn't. I don't know. But he's a goat.
Yeah. I don't think he was in the first one.
So, yeah. So that was interesting. Anyways, where are we going with this?
I guess at this point we can talk about critiques. Yeah. If you got any specific
romance, man.
That was the same thing I was thinking.
The guy in the second one. And a lot of people complained about the guy in the first one. Mm-hmm. Which I kind of saw his point in the first one. This one, I feel like he was just there to give her. Oh yeah, it's a rom-com, so I mean, throw a romance in there. It just felt kind of. I didn't care. I didn't really. I was just like, I was more invested in what was going on with Runway and everything like that. That anytime it was about the other love interest, that it took me kind of out, and I didn't really care.
Yeah, I don't. It's
no offense to the guy who's playing him. I just feel like they didn't really make me care. He was just kind of introduced and thrown in there, and he shows up just periodically. Just when it's convenient.
Yeah.
You know.
Whereas like in the first one,
he was throughout.
He was throughout because they were already dating. They would literally live together.
And they don't even mention what happened.
That was
they
my
don't.
big,
so it probably is like like a thing to where they probably heard the fans about what happened and they're like, yeah, let's try not to bring him back. Or maybe they just couldn't bring him back because he was doing something else.
Yeah.
Or I don't know. I don't know the specifics.
True.
But it just felt like an interesting. You bring back the other people.
Yeah.
You brought back her best friend.
They did. Yep.
Not the other guy. Not
the other guy. I was thinking about him. I was like, dang, what happened to him?
Yeah. And they don't really quite elaborate on it. Honestly, I would have rather either you explain what happened more, because there's certain things when it comes to either Emily or Andy or Miranda about their personal life that it kind of just brushes over. But then you still throw in a love interest for Andy, just because. I would have rather you kind of fill in the blanks, just so we know kind of what happened and we can understand and then we can move on.
Yeah.
Instead of just throwing just some random guy to kind of,
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna elaborate or piggyback off that point. With the guy that she meets, like I don't think he does a bad job, but I do agree that it did feel.
It's just the way
it did feel somewhat forced in the sense that like we wanted to give her a romance, even though she comes into the movie, single, and she does explain.
No mention of the.
Yeah, she does. It's like, okay, at what point? That's a big thing for me. Like, at what point does she and the old guy break up? Because spoiler alert in the. What?
No spoilers.
Because they're together in the well, okay. I'm gonna just say they're together. There's some rocky things. I'm gonna just say there's some rocky things that happen in the first movie, but they are, at least it seems like they rekindled something by the end.
Yeah. Yeah. So like very conveniently just in there,
So now that does make me wonder, like, okay, what happens to them, or what happened to him if they were just, if they split in the first movie, and you never see him again by the end of it. It's like, okay, I understand. But because he's there at the end, but then now it's like, okay, into the second movie, they don't explain like.
Oh, you're talking about the first guy, the one in the first movie.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the guy in the second
No.
movie.
I was saying like, yeah, if the fact that he's never mentioned in this one at all, like nothing about him. Specifically, that's where I'm like, okay, that's a little weird. Like, even if y'all try to write him out in a way, it was like, dang, did the people hate him that much that y'all didn't even want to mention him? Like, y'all could have said something. So.
But yeah, there's also, a few ways. Like I think more of the complaints are going to be about how it's shot. Is what I've been hearing, which I can understand that.
Yeah.
But we can't just. I feel like it's starting to get repetitive now, because this is just how movies are filmed now.
Yeah.
They're not filmed as great as they were. It's more laziness, trying to save money, cut costs, and do things more, what's the word?
Efficient, cost effective, like.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. So, I'm not gonna say everybody is lazy when it comes to modern filmmaking, but as other people mentioned, like in this newer generation, people are learning differently than before. Like they aren't using the same materials.
They're trying to adapt.
Yeah, we're not. I mean, people haven't been using film for years, like actual film for years.
Right.
We've been using digital for
Right.
what 30 plus years, 30, 40 years, however long.
Right.
So it's things are different now, and filmmaking is very expensive regardless of what you're using.
Yep.
So there's just techniques are different, cameras are different, lighting, all these combination of things, set design, production design, all these different things make it so that films look different. I can still empathize or understand people who complain because everybody, everybody has their own opinions of all these different things, and if something looks bad to them, it looks bad. However,
sometimes it's just because you work in that industry. It's the same thing if you like work in sound and something is just off, or in music and something's just off. It'll bother you, but for somebody who doesn't really understand, they won't pick up on it.
True, not necessarily. Yeah. But that is a good point as well. The way it's shot and just the way it looks, it can be a little inconsistent at times. But it didn't take away from the story for me. Like I definitely noticed. I was like, yeah, this doesn't look like the first one. That it's crazy how older movies, you can play them 20, 30, 40, 50, however many, 60 years later, and they still look good. That's such a interesting thing. But yeah, I didn't have like too many
gripes.
I mean, there definitely were some like minor things.
Yeah, just little nitpicks.
Like there were certain parts where I'm like, I really had to like lock in to make sure I was like understanding certain things that were happening. I'm like, okay, this is happening with this character. Like, I think if I just go back and watch it again, just certain parts, I'm like, oh, that's what was happening right there.
True.
Yeah, especially like kind of in the beginning, I was like, wait, what? How did this whole thing just transpire? But yeah, all in all, yeah, definitely enjoyed this movie. I enjoyed both, but really enjoyed the second one. I feel like it definitely justified its existence in a way. Like I get sequels are cash grabs for the most part, but they actually told a compelling story in this modern age of AI, the way journalism is being slashed away, and just I felt like it was an interesting commentary on the job market as a whole. Like anybody can relate to, kind of like what you said. Like doesn't matter if you're a journalist, whatever. Also, shout out.
I was wondering if you want to do that.
What?
Shout out to the guy who told us to.
Oh no, it wasn't a guy. No.
Well, whoever it was.
I was gonna say shout out. Should I say her name? Okay. It was Dalia. She said to review this movie. So shout out. And yeah, for sure. We enjoyed it, and yeah, I think we do. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bad memory.
Crazy, because I'm gonna show you, and then you're gonna be like, ah.
Yeah, of course. When you see a face with the name, then it clicks. But
yeah.
My memory trash. But anywho, post your comments down below. Let us know which one you liked, the first one or the second one. And what is your favorite first movie, second movie combo? Or what's a movie that didn't need a sequel, but you're glad it got a sequel? Post it in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe. I didn't want to mention it, but I didn't forget. I mentioned it, but I didn't want to say it.
Wait, you mentioned it?
Yeah.
You mentioned it in the video?
Uh-huh.
Crazy. My bad.
I was just being vague because I didn't want to say it.
I didn't even say it. My bad.
But anywho, yeah, like, share, subscribe. Follow us on social medias. We're trying to get better at social medias, and it's almost summer, so we got some things planned for the summer. So stay subscribed and
You know we didn't.
stay plugged in.
Wait.
Rating. The second one or the first
Both. We do both real quick.
one? Second one was 5. I liked it. I mean, the first one was 5. The second one was 4.
Okay. Solid. All right. Off the dome. Actually, I rated. First one's probably a 4.5 to be honest. Even though it did rate it a 4 earlier. Second one will be a 4 because I don't feel like I can give both a 4, but I'm gonna give the first one a 4.5.
Cool. All right. Yeah. So we'll see y'all in the next one. God bless.
All right, y'all.